A word of caution, if you please, don't kiss a cat when it has fleas. So anyway, welcome to my latest pickups for the winter, since I do these kind of by season. Got some really good stuff this time, so before we get to the games, a couple of toys. So the latest World of Nintendo minifigures wave hit my area finally, so from that I got the Blue Baby Yoshi, Dr. Mario, and Larry Koopa, who I'm really excited about because that means they're obviously going to do all the Koopalings. You know, sucks they couldn't do them all in one wave, but I suppose if they did, you know, damn well people would buy the whole set and scalp them on eBay. Now, for those of you who grew up in the 80s, you may remember M.U.S.C.L.E figures, or as they were called in Japan, Kinnikuman. I was born in 87, and I was actually introduced to those figures by my cousin in the early 90s. But these figures are actually coming back, or they have come back recently, and they're bringing on board a bunch of cultural franchises, including Mega Man. Now, as you can see, this set comes with Mega Man and the Yellow Devil, which, in case you're wondering, they do come in different colors, like if you'd rather have a blue Mega Man. And this is from Series 1, which also includes characters such as Dr. Wily, the 6 Robot Masters from the first game, and more. So, Series 2 will probably be, you know, characters from the second game and so on, so I'm really excited about that. Other franchises that they're making these out of include Masters of the Universe, Alien, and Street Fighter. Now, on to the games. Got a lot of 6th gen stuff. First off, finally got another PS2. As you can see it. Now, quick backstory. What had happened was, my brother had moved out of our mom's house in 2008. Jesus, 10 years. But anyway, so he had to downsize quite a bit, and his roommate had a PS2, so like, oh, we could just share that one. So my brother gave me his PS2 along with a bunch of games. And obviously I bought quite a few myself, which I still have. But years later, he got his own place, so he took back the PS2 and games. You know, so that's why I didn't have one for all this time. But I still have the games, though. Now, this came with 2 controllers, which is great. And it still has the broadband adapter attached. Hello, 2003. But yeah, happy to finally have that again. Number 1 selling console of all time. What was it, 155 million units? Damn. So anyway, the games I got for it to add to the ones I already have. Twisted Metal Black, which is a great entry in the franchise. I'm pretty sure this was like a reboot in the series because the series was under new management, but that's a whole other story. And the way they changed around a lot of the characters, like somebody like Spectre were kind of like meh, but others like Mr. Grimm was awesome. I mean, I like Mr. Grimm better as the Grim Reaper, but I also like the new take they did on him as well. Next I got Tekken 4. It's an old one, but a good one, and this was actually the last Tekken game I played in the arcade. 2 more fighting games. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance and Mortal Kombat Deception. I actually found them both together for, I think it was like $8 or $10, something like that. It's not bad. Yeah, these ones still hold up pretty well, especially, you know, I still find them fun to play. And, good thing I still have them saved on my memory card, because I unlocked pretty much all the characters in Deadly Alliance. Last PS2 game, Contra Shattered Soldier. Oh, my brother and I played the shit out of this game. And him and I were always huge Contra fans. We still are, actually. In fact, funny story. When Contra 4 came out for the DS in 2007, I believe it was, we both bought it for each other for Christmas without even knowing. Like, in other words, I bought it for him without knowing that he bought it for me, and vice versa. But as for this one, the soundtrack is so badass. And I love how there's a lot of references to Contra 3 for the Super Nintendo, because that is actually my favorite Contra game of all time. Now these next 3 games are, well, between 2 different consoles. Only one of them is an exclusive. But anyway, these are games that I've always wanted to play ever since the 6th gen. The first one is Pac-Man Fever. It's pretty much the same concept as Mario Party, but with Namco characters, which you can see on the cover there. It's pretty fun, actually. What the hell's on that? Probably cat litter. Ugh. Ew. Anyway, the next one is Battalion Wars. This feels kind of like a mix between the old Army Men games and the old point-and-click strategy Warcraft games. It's not bad, actually. Next we have Area 51. Always wanted to play this, and I finally did. And it's a multiplayer game, so it's definitely, if you ever want to check it out or something. But it's awesome. And I've talked about this before. I feel like first-person shooters during the 6th gen really kind of stood out in that era. So you're obviously in Area 51. You fight soldiers and aliens and mutants. Oh my! You can also like mutate into another character. And I really like the soundtrack, so I'm gonna have to try and look that up. But I've really been enjoying it so far. Kind of kicked myself for not playing it like 12, 13 years ago, but whatever. So that's all the 6th gen stuff. Let's move up to more recent. I got 2 games for the Xbone. Got Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, which I was so excited for this game because I loved the previous 2. I've really been enjoying this one. Where was I? And, basically, I like the new storyline that they've been going with this new series, the rebooted Wolfenstein series. It takes place in the 60s. The Nazis won World War II, so you're trying to unite all these resistances together. And, God, Blazkowicz is such a badass. Like, the stuff that he can survive. Oh, my God. And it's funny, I remember before the game was even released, there was a bit of controversy behind it. I remember, like, a lot of YouTubers were making videos about it and stuff, and I was like, that just makes me want the game even more. Where was I? And one of the things that I was really curious about was because the previous game, not counting the prequel, Old Blood, but the other game, what the hell was it called? You know what I'm talking about. In that one, it's like, there's a part when you have to, if you never played it, spoiler alert, there's a part when you have to, what the hell's his name? Death's Head is going to kill one of your 2 friends, or Blazkowicz's 2 friends, and you have to pick which one he'll kill. So I was like, oh, how is that going to play out in this game? Like, if people had never played that one. So, The New Order, that's what it was, Wolfenstein The New Order. So, they actually bring you back to that scenario for this game. So I was like, oh, okay, that works. Now, this next game is Dead Rising 4, and it came out last year, I believe, or not counting 2016, we'll put it that way. It takes place at Christmas, which, that's when I got it, was for Christmas. It's awesome. I've always loved the Dead Rising games. And, this one is, they brought back Frank West. He's in his 50s now. You play as him again, which is great because as much as I loved the 2nd and 3rd game, something I really missed was the ability to take pictures. Like, I mean, I know that there was a side game with Frank West, but I never played it. And the camera, it's kind of like the one from Condemned. You use it to, like, solve puzzles and things like that and mysteries. One thing that I think is a major improvement in this is that there's no longer a timeline, excuse me, where it's like, oh, you have to solve the main story objective in less than in less than 3 hours, which a gameplay time is really like a half an hour, so it's like, oh, I don't have time to complete that side mission and stuff, like, all that is just gone, so you can just do whatever you want at your own pace. I mean, it takes away a little bit of the challenge factor, but not much. It's still challenging, but it gets rid of a lot of the frustration, which I'm happy about. And the other thing is, like, who doesn't want to sometimes run around killing random zombies and stuff just for fun? My only real nitpick with the game is they took out the cutscenes for the psychopath bosses. Like, there's no, like, build-up for them or no, like, dramatic death scene or anything. It's like you just go to them and fight them, and that's about it. Other than that, the game is awesome. So that's all the games, but I got a couple of other little things. I got a carrying case for my SNES Classic Edition. So it's got all these perfect little slots and pockets for all the different things, like the console, the cords, the plugs, the controllers, and whatnot. And last but not least, I saw this at Target, I believe, and I was like, oh, I can't pass it up. It's a little booklet, or I don't know what you want to call it, a book, I guess, which has, it basically covers all the first-party titles that are on the SNES Classic Edition. It has, like, talks about some neat little things about, like, the backstory of the games and, like, just the hell's the word I'm looking for? The development of the Super Nintendo and all of that. So, yeah, that's my pickups for the winter. If you want to see me next week, I got a very special countdown video coming, so be sure to tune in for that. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already to the channel. And as always, thanks for watching, everybody.